Concern to me, peeps, what's up? It's me, John D. Villarreal, and Paul at Villarreal right there, and we just saw some craziness, maybe history in the making. Antonio Bigfoot Silva defeats Fedor Emelianenko in the second. I don't know if that's. I guess that counts as the second round. They didn't make it the third round. Via, I think, ref, but then some say, I guess officially it's ruled doctor stoppage. Fedor couldn't see out of his right eye. It was too banged up. Fedor, in my book, had won the first round. He looked good. He was elusive. He was banging him. He was throwing good shots. He was exchanging hard shots. He got Silva on his back. He was looking for some different things. And Silva only got a takedown at the very, very end. Excuse me, 10 seconds left to go. In the second round, Fedor came out with an explosive shot and he looked good, but Silva ducked it, went for the takedown, and it was all Silva after that. He was on top of him and was just trying to, just raining shots down. He was too big, too powerful. Fedor couldn't get out of there. He was looking for different things. Silva was looking for, head choke, arm triangle kind of thing, and he also looked for a leg lock. Fedor threw on his own leg lock, but Fedor, was just absorbing a lot of shots, a lot of damage. And he was upset that he stopped it. It could have been, I don't know. It looked like Silva was very, very tired. Even though Fedor's eye was closed, I really think he could have gone out there and done something. At the same time, as Paul said, it looked like Fedor slowed down a little bit, and he had made a big announcement. We'll talk about that in the next video. I want to say that really deserves its own video. Paul, what did you see in this fight? You're at a situation where Fedor was giving up at fight time, maybe 50 or 60 pounds of Silva, who probably came in the ring weighing 285. Some would speculate that, and Fedor is always around that 225 mark, 230.
Yeah, what I saw in this fight, and we talked about this a second ago off camera, is that Fedor is the kind of fighter that he gives up so much weight advantage and so much reach and so much height. He's an energy fighter in a lot of ways. He's got to be max energy, and reflexes have to be perfect, et cetera, for him to be able to do what he does. And what I saw in this fight is that there were times where Silva had him, kind of took him down, and Silva relaxed for a second. In the old days, Fedor would have jumped on that immediately, and I didn't see that here. Now, is that a bad night? Is it was it that he can't do it anymore? I just think that, and I think that Fedor, he's 34 years old, and a couple months, he's been in a lot of wars, and proven everything. I just, he just might be having just that beginning of the slippage, where it's just enough for the type of fighter that he is, where he's not going to be able to get done what he needs to get done, particularly against somebody that's basically 285 pounds.
Well, and I don't know why he doesn't cut down. Frankly, he looks, he looks good, looks fit when he weighs in, but he looks like he could easily, it's not like he's ripped or cut ever, he looks like he could easily make a 205-pound weight class. I don't know why he doesn't do that at this point. I understand, the big fame and prestige, heavyweight, this and that, whatever, but if you want to stay in the game, but we'll talk about that next. Did you agree with the doctor's stoppage here of this fight? I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Fedor's eye looked pretty busted up, but I don't agree with it. I think Fedor was ready to go. I think Silva was tired, and I think someone like Fedor, I think you let him go out the way he wants to go out. But again, safety of the fighters, and I'm no doctor, and maybe I'm just too much of a fan of Fedor. What did you think about that stoppage?
But what I would have liked to have seen, well, he couldn't see it yet. The eye looked closed, and apparently he couldn't see out of it, and pretty bad. What I personally would have liked to have seen is, give him about 30 seconds. Let him come out. Let him know, look, somehow, some way, let him know. Now, you're not going to get much time here. Let him go out and try to get a shot. He's a big-time champion. I think he deserves that. I understand they want to protect him, but that's what I would have liked to have seen.
Again, we're not doctors, and we're all for the safety of the fighters, and the doctors are there. That's their job. They're doing the right thing and what they need to do, and they have to make their judgment and decisions, and that's what they're charged with. But I like what you're saying. If it was me, I like that. Give him 30 seconds, see how he reacted, see how he's doing. I highly doubt he would have been the first fighter in the history of fighting sports that ever had to fight with just one eye. Okay, we all remember. Again,
we've seen it. But viewers have seen it. You've seen it in boxing. You've seen it in other mixed martial arts fights where a guy's pretty cut up or whatever, and a doctor or referee is like, look, you know, you're going to get one more round or something like that. Or somebody that's trailing badly in the cards and give him one more shot. I would have liked to have seen that. Again, not a doctor, so I can't call it. He was pumped up pretty badly, but it's too bad something like that couldn't have happened.
Yeah, exactly, and it's too bad that Fedor made a tactical mistake of going out there and trying to get a little too aggressive and let himself up for the takedown. But big props to Silva. He did what he needed to do. He advances now, and it's going to be very interesting because he's going to fight the winner of Overeem versus Verdum, and now you're talking about size versus size and jiu-jitsu and the whole 9 yards. So it's going to be very, very interesting. That bracket has just gotten a lot more interesting, a lot more complex. This whole tournament's got more complex with Carter Tonoff winning. And then we see Josh Barnett versus Brett Rogers. This is getting intense, and this is why you have to watch the fights and Showtime MMA and Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix. Yeah, go ahead, because you never know what's going to happen.
I'll just say this. Look, you know, Brazil, you got to give props to Brazil. For years and years and years and years, they just could not solve Fedor at all. I mean, they talked about in their heavyweights, how do we deal with this guy, whatever. And, you know, he got beat by fighters from Brazil 2 straight times now, so props to them. Big props to Silva. He was very respectful after the fight and bowed down to Fedor. You know, good for him.
Good for Silva. We like Silva. We like him.
It's a tough loss, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens here. We're going to talk about, we have a special video next. Stay tuned for that. For Conservative Media, I am John. That is Paul. Antonio Bigfoot Silva defeats Fedor Emelianenko via doctor stoppage because Fedor couldn't see out of his right eye. And I want to know what you guys think and what you guys want to say about this. What happens now? What's next for Fedor? How do you think about Silva, and how do you think he's going to do in the tournament now against Overeem or Verdum? Very exciting night. Great card from Showtime and from Strikeforce. Strikeforce is really doing it on all levels. This is a fantastic situation. Comments below, subscribe above. I'm John. That is Paul. We're Conservative Media. We'll see you next time.